Alright, so in the last video I showed you how I mocked up the front end in here. Got the pinholes drilled and got it set in place. The frame is actually resting down on the front end right now. So now what we want to do is we are going to work on boxing the frame in with these. These are some pre-made boxes. I don't know what company these are from. They came with the truck when I bought it, but they have the holes to bolt the front end in once you do, but you have to cut out a part of the frame to do this. You have to notch this out. I've already got my marks here. I'm going to show you how I came up with those. But you can see in here it's got a hole in the bottom that lines up right on your pin, and then you notch this. I'll show you on the other side exactly what I've done. So these are just set in here for the time being, just for alright. So this is, you can see how I've cut out the frame. Alright, and you actually have to cut some off of the back. Sorry, I apologize for the movement of the camera, but this is the easiest way to show you. So you actually cut some off the back too, and whenever you get this back in place, let's see if I can do this one-handed. Once you do that, you can see you're going to come back in here and weld all this up. Okay. Now before we actually put these in completely, I will weld all the seams on here. So as you can see, all these seams right in here, I'm going to weld all of this up. That way it's a nice firm piece. And then I will weld it in here, weld it all around. That way it makes it a solid piece to the frame, gives it a lot more strength. Okay, so as you can see, I have already drilled out the frame for the holes to accept the bolts. The bolts come from underneath on the front end and come up through here, and then once this is notched, you'll have the hole in this tube right here. The bolt will come up through here, and then you put your nut on the top. Now the thing about this is, some people, what they'll do is they will literally just take the tubes out of the Crown Vic that they find the front end of. They'll drill a hole, put the tubes in, weld the tubes in, and use a spacer, and then just box this in with plate steel. If I were going to do this again, that is probably the route I would go. I get the idea of these boxes here. It's supposed to be one of, making it easier for you. You just line it up and put it in. But when I did the first side, checking it and all that, I was unimpressed because I had to grind so much off of the box to get it to fit. All this back here, this bottom part, this is all excess material that really gets in the way when you start trying to fit it up against here, because as you can see, this frame is flat right to here, and then it kicks out. Well, this plate actually has to go out with it. So all this area in here has to be ground off of the inside leg of this box. And all along here, that has to be ground down. It's about 3/16 of an inch. So, it's just, it just took a long time to figure that out. I'll cut all the excess out this time and do it a little differently, but hopefully this side goes faster. But all I did to measure this was, you can see where my pin is and that alignment hole. Okay, so I want to just kind of rough it right there. Okay, and I can lean it back and I can look down in here and see that, okay, this hole is right in line with that. This one is in line with that. The camera angle kind of makes it look weird, but anyway, so once I do that, then I come in here and I find my edge right about here, and I mark it on the frame. Okay, that long one. The first one was a rough. And then same over here, the longer one. And then once I have that set, okay, so I know those are my parameters, I came up here, set this thing up on top, and I know that this back lip right here is going to be flush on this metal. So because the inside is out a little bit, we're going to go in just like that, okay? But I'm going to scoot it back to where it's supposed to be. So, if I come straight up here, that's about where that ends right there, okay? And same over here. If I come right up here, it cuts that off. So I've already got the line right there. So what I'm going to do is I will notch this out, cut this out, and then cut this down. It's right about an inch, but I'll take it off in small increments while I check it, so that I get the tightest fit possible, because you don't want gaps, you know, where you have to weld and stuff like that, or add metal. It's just easier to just cut a little bit off, you know, rather to cut not enough off than cut too much. Okay, so I have got this side cut, and I got this plate right here. I rolled in the front end again just to make sure I have it so I can check it for alignment. But once I slide this in, get it right on the alignment pin, everything looks really good. It's nice and flat on here, and these bolt right in. So now that I have this all cut, ready to go, I will take these boxes out on both sides, and again, I'm going to weld up the seams on all of these. So this is one solid chunk. While I do that, I'm going to clean up the inside of the frame, all this stuff, clean all this really good, get all the paint, crap off of it, and then I will paint the areas inside of the frame that aren't going to get welded. That's any of the areas I cut off before, any of the exposed metal. I want to make sure I have that painted, covered. You know, if I was doing a frame off restoration and sandblasting the whole thing, I'd go back through and do like POR 15, but I'm not taking everything off the frame on this. So just want to make sure we clean all that up, make sure that we're preventing rust from happening later on. And then I will come back in, weld these in place, and then paint over these afterwards. So I finished up all the welding on the frame and went through and did a bunch of other steps. I adjusted the trailing arms and put the sway bar in and everything, painted all of it, and put the front end back in, and realized that I had lost all the footage. So I'm going to show you what I got right now. Okay, so you can see this is all welded in now. The plates, that's all done. Once you get that in on the sway bar, if you can line these up to where they're straight up and down, you're about, I had to drill one little hole. You're just a little bit off from what hole was already there, okay? And I just put this up here, clamped it, and you can see the other side, same thing. It's kind of hard to see the angle on this, but you can see right there that the attachment is, the link is straight up and down. Okay, and then I'm gonna have to climb underneath here at some point and show you how I did the trailing arms, how I adjusted them, because these parts of the plates, let's see if I can get in here and show you. So this part right here that is connected to the front end, they're actually, when you first get it, they're canted like at this angle, and you have to actually cut the sleeve on this and rotate it to where you can weld it back together on here. And I'll get a snippet of that on the next video and show you how exactly I did that. So for now, got the frame welded up. I actually even connected the steering at this point. I lost the footage on that as well. You know, I just bought the double D shaft, bought all this stuff off Amazon, and put the steering column in, and it works fine. What else? Yeah, I didn't realize that I had lost this much footage. It was kind of a bit of a heartbreak on that one. So I will be doing more once I start putting the engine in. I found a drivetrain. I got this turd here, but the engine is actually very promising. Good compression, runs great, low mileage, has the overdrive and everything. I'll be taking everything out of that and putting it in this truck. So yeah, should be good on the next video. Again, I apologize, I lost some of the final footage of just buttoning up the painting and stuff like that. But you know, as you can see in the video, I got the welding done, showed all those steps and everything. So yeah, and you know, like, subscribe, follow along, and you know, hopefully the next video will be coming soon. Bye.